2207 Seymour Avenue in Cleveland looked like any other suburban home. Families walked past it every day, and even Google Street View captured the house without revealing anything unusual. Nothing about the property suggested that anything was wrong. But behind those ordinary walls, Ariel Castro held 3 young women captive for more than a decade. They were cut off from the outside world, chained for long periods, and subjected to horrific abuse while neighbors remained completely unaware of what was happening just a few meters away. The nightmare finally ended in 2013 when one of the victims, Amanda Berry, managed to escape and call for help. Police quickly entered the house and rescued all 3 women alive. The investigation inside the house shocked even experienced detectives. Hidden doors, reinforced locks, and makeshift restraints revealed how carefully Castro had concealed the crimes. Despite repeated reports over the years about suspicious behavior, nothing led authorities to uncover what was happening inside until the victims themselves escaped. Today, the house no longer exists, but the Street View image remains a chilling reminder that unimaginable crimes can unfold behind homes that appear completely ordinary from the outside. Although the crimes were never visible on Google Street View, the service preserved one final image of the house before it was demolished, turning an ordinary-looking home into a haunting reminder of an unimaginable crime. Jonestown. If you search the jungles of Guyana on Google Maps today, you'll find what looks like an ordinary clearing surrounded by dense rainforest. But nearly 50 years ago, this isolated patch of land became the site of one of history's deadliest cult tragedies. Jonestown was built by Jim Jones and the People's Temple as a supposed utopian community, far from outside influence. Over time, members became increasingly isolated, tightly controlled, and unable to leave. Everything changed on November 18, 1978. After U.S. Congressman Leo Ryan visited the settlement to investigate abuse allegations, he and several others were killed at a nearby airstrip. Hours later, more than 900 followers died in a mass murder-suicide after being forced or persuaded to drink poison. The tragedy also changed the way governments and psychologists studied destructive cults. Investigators found that years of isolation, fear, and psychological manipulation had gradually stripped many members of their ability to question Jim Jones' authority. Even decades later, the phrase "drinking the Kool-Aid" is still widely used as a reference to blindly following a dangerous leader, although the actual drink used at Jonestown was a different brand. Today, nature has reclaimed much of the site. From above, it looks almost empty, but that quiet clearing marks one of the darkest chapters in modern history. North Korea's hidden prison camps. North Korea is one of the world's most secretive countries, making independent investigations nearly impossible. But satellite imagery has given researchers a rare glimpse into places the government has spent decades trying to keep hidden. Hidden deep within the mountains are massive prison camp complexes. Human rights organizations have used commercial satellite images to identify guard towers, perimeter fences, factories, housing blocks, and expanding infrastructure. The scale of some of these facilities is visible even from space. Former prisoners who later escaped have described forced labor, starvation, torture, and public executions. Researchers compared those testimonies with satellite imagery and found many details matched the layouts visible from above. Foreign visitors cannot enter these facilities, making satellite imagery one of the world's only windows into these hidden camps. Because independent journalists and international inspectors are almost never allowed access, organizations rely heavily on open-source intelligence. By comparing satellite images taken months or years apart, researchers can identify new construction, demolished buildings, expanded security perimeters, and changes in farming activity inside the compounds. These small details help build a picture of places that remain almost entirely hidden from the outside world. China's desert aircraft carrier targets, deep inside China's remote Taklamakan Desert, are enormous structures that look strangely out of place. When commercial satellite imagery became widely available, researchers noticed that several of them were shaped like full-sized aircraft carriers and modern warships. These weren't abandoned ships or movie props. Analysts believe they were built as realistic targets for testing anti-ship missiles and other long-range strike capabilities. Some even feature detailed flight decks and surrounding infrastructure designed to resemble real naval vessels. Because these sites are located in one of the most isolated deserts on Earth, very few people have ever seen them from the ground. Yet anyone with access to Google Earth or similar satellite imagery can examine them from above. Some analysts believe the targets are deliberately designed to imitate not only the size of real warships, but also important features such as radar equipment and deck layouts. Their appearance sparked widespread discussion among defense experts because it suggested increasingly realistic missile testing against naval targets. While governments rarely comment on the facilities directly, commercial satellite imagery has allowed researchers to monitor changes as new structures continue to appear. It's a striking example of how satellite imagery has revealed military developments that were once hidden from public view. Iran's underground missile facilities. Scattered across Iran's mountainous landscape are dozens of tunnel entrances carved into rocky hillsides. On their own, they don't seem unusual. But when researchers looked closer, they found many were connected to security checkpoints, launch areas, storage buildings, and newly constructed roads. Military analysts believe these underground complexes are designed to protect ballistic missiles and other strategic equipment from airstrikes. Over the years, commercial satellite imagery has revealed new excavation work, expanded tunnel entrances, and additional support facilities at several locations. Unlike traditional military bases, much of the infrastructure remains hidden beneath the mountains, making satellite imagery one of the few ways outsiders can track visible changes over time. Some of these underground networks are believed to stretch deep beneath the mountains, connected by long tunnel systems capable of moving equipment without exposing it to surveillance. Satellite imagery cannot reveal what lies underground, but it can document newly excavated soil, widened tunnel entrances, fresh roads, and support buildings that often indicate expansion. Those visible clues have become valuable pieces of evidence for analysts studying Iran's military capabilities. Many details remain classified, but these images have provided a rare glimpse into a military network largely concealed from the outside world. Myanmar's hidden scam compounds. Scattered along Myanmar's remote border regions are massive walled compounds that are clearly visible from satellite imagery. At first glance, they resemble ordinary industrial parks. But investigations revealed something far more disturbing. Many of these sites have been linked to transnational cybercrime operations. Thousands of people from across Asia and beyond were reportedly lured there with promises of legitimate jobs, only to have their passports confiscated and be forced to run online scams targeting victims around the world. Satellite imagery helped journalists document how these compounds rapidly expanded, with entire complexes appearing in previously undeveloped areas. The buildings themselves reveal very little. But survivor testimonies describe beatings, torture, and imprisonment for anyone who refused to participate, suggesting these seemingly ordinary compounds conceal one of the world's largest modern cybercrime networks. International law enforcement agencies have rescued victims from several compounds in recent years, but many more remain active. Survivors describe working around the clock under constant surveillance while being forced to scam strangers online through fake investment schemes, romance scams, and cryptocurrency fraud. The compounds continue to expand in some regions, highlighting how organized cybercrime has become increasingly industrialized. Illegal gold mining camps in the Amazon. The Amazon rainforest is often called the lungs of the earth. But if you zoom in on certain parts using Google Earth or other satellite imagery, you'll find something very different. Vast illegal gold mining camps carved into what was once untouched forest. Journalists and environmental groups have documented entire camps appearing in remote regions within just a few months. Forests are cleared, rivers are diverted, and toxic mercury used during gold extraction pollutes waterways that indigenous communities rely on for drinking water and fishing. Many of these operations are believed to be controlled by organized criminal groups operating far beyond the reach of local authorities. Violence, forced labor, and widespread environmental destruction often follow wherever the mines expand. From space, the damage is impossible to miss. Pale scars cut through the rainforest, surrounded by muddy pools of polluted water, exposing one of the world's largest ongoing environmental disasters. The environmental damage often remains visible long after mining operations leave. Mercury released during gold extraction can remain in rivers and fish for years, affecting both wildlife and nearby communities. Satellite imagery allows scientists to monitor how quickly forests disappear and whether abandoned mining sites begin to recover, providing one of the clearest records of environmental destruction occurring deep inside areas that are otherwise difficult to reach. North Korea's undeclared missile bases. For years, North Korea publicly acknowledged only a limited number of its military installations. But by carefully studying commercial satellite imagery, open-source researchers identified multiple missile bases that had never been officially declared. Hidden inside narrow mountain valleys, the sites contain long vehicle shelters, hardened storage facilities, launch support areas, and carefully maintained access roads. Their remote locations make them almost impossible to spot from the ground, but their distinctive layouts become clear from above. Independent analysts compared satellite images taken over several years, documenting ongoing construction, maintenance, and activity that suggested the bases remained operational despite never appearing in official declarations. Open-source intelligence has become so advanced that researchers can estimate activity without ever entering the country. By examining tire tracks, freshly cleared vegetation, snow disturbances, and the movement of support vehicles, analysts can sometimes determine whether a base has been recently used. Although these observations cannot reveal every detail, they demonstrate just how much information can be gathered from publicly available satellite imagery. The discovery showed how publicly available satellite imagery can reveal military facilities that governments have spent years trying to keep out of public view.